we can't drive our cars in your sky. We don't want to be part of it. So Delores Cahill is one of the great Conservative voices coming to the fore now, who did phenomenally well in the European elections in Ireland South, getting 17,000 votes. Give her a round of applause. The great people of Ireland South, no doubt the vote was rigged, she probably got double that. Delores will be running for the Dáil elections next year. They might pull a fast one and hold them in October. We're going to be ready for them. Even if you believe in 50% of what I'm saying, please consider standing for Anti-Corruption Ireland, the National Party, the Irish Freedom Party. We're all in this together, we're standing together, but we now are asking people to please stand for election to give the Irish electorate a choice. But Delores, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Thank you so much.
I'll be quick. Just want to say thank you to everyone for answering the call and coming today. The message is, what have Google, YouTube, Alphabet to be afraid of free speech and open discussion? So Robert Emmet, Daniel O'Connell, Pádraig Pearse, all of our great patriots, they just wanted the Irish people to take charge of their own destiny. They just wanted to elect people to make the laws that we live under. Our Constitution gives us inalienable rights, including the right to free speech and to our republic. So all I would say to you today is, we want to value everybody's opinion, we want free speech, we want open debate. And we want democracy. So I would say we need to be inspired and I have great hope that Brexit was actually democracy in action. And against all of the media saying that people who wanted to elect people that made their laws and not be calmed by being told you're going into a common market, which is actually ever closer union, which is a federal state. And I would say why people are clamping down on free speech is that once you talk to people and say, you know, our parents and grandparents voted for a common market because they thought it was free trade, no one would really have any issue against a common market or a European Free Trade Association type setup. But from the very beginning, the European Union was set up to be a bulwark, set up by America to be a bulwark against the Soviet Union. It wasn't initially set up as a project of peace. And as we know, when the European Union was there, we had the Cold War between East and West Germany. The European EEC did nothing. When we had the Yugoslavian wars and 160,000 people died over 10 years, the European Union did nothing. They also did not really contribute to bringing peace in Northern Ireland. It was really the people of Ireland and the UK and our American diaspora. So I think once people understand that what we are being told about the European Union is not correct, and that we really don't have democracy because we have the new presidents of the Commission and the ECB and the Council, they were not among the people that were elected. So there was a European Parliament election, 751 members of Parliament, but none of the European institutions were among those that were elected. So this is more in common with the Soviet system really than the European Union. So all we are standing for is a return to democracy, and that actually, if you have democracy and you can elect or unelect the people, then you do have accountability, and that reduces corruption. And so the other major thing is that freedom of speech is the freedom to discuss the issues in a society. And if your language is curtailed, you actually don't even have the language to articulate your thoughts. So it's quite a fundamental thing to have freedom of speech, because that allows people to articulate what they're thinking. And if you're incorrect, that's okay, because every generation has to figure out themselves all of the various complex issues of living in a society. And free speech just allows one generation to pass on to the next generation the Western values of free speech and democracy and rule of law. And if you don't elect, like in the European Union, the people that make your laws, you don't have rule of law. If you can't unelect them, that breeds corruption. And that breeds lack of accountability. So free speech underpins articulation of thought, it underpins democracy, it underpins accountability, anti-corruption and the rule of law. So anyone like Google, Alphabet and YouTube, if you're listening, we are lucky to be able to look over thousands of years of history and see that freedom of speech is a fundamental human right, and we're not going to give it up in Ireland. It's protected under our constitution. Thank you very much. And I'm very